This episode has been brought to you by Fornos Law Firm, devoted to optimizing your legal results at fornoslaw.com.
Welcome to Push Room, where we discuss disability news, culture, interviews, and more. I'm Ray Pizarro.
I'm Richard Bow.
We'd like to thank our audience for being with us once again. Today on the show, we have a very special guest on our hot seat. His name is Andy Arias. Welcome to the show, Andy.
Thank you. Thanks, guys, for having me. That's awesome.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
And Andy has been an actor and advocate for our community for quite some time. And we would like to know, how did you get started in all of this?
Well, it's interesting. I finished a movie with Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts, and I ran out of money after the film. And I saw a movie about a disabled actor and the ADA and all that stuff. And I just sort of manifested the job that I wanted. And I wanted a job where I was giving back to the community. Because I think a lot of time people think people with disabilities are just asking for things and wanting things. And I was like, I don't want to be that kind of person. I want to be able to give back. I want to make an impact. So I got a job in Orange County being their disability rights advocate. And I did that for about 4 years. And I traveled a lot to Sacramento and Washington, D.C. And I really liked policy. I didn't like some of the policies that I saw, but I knew that there was a way to make a better place. So I just ended up in that role of wanting to do that full time as my work, as well as acting and stand-up comedy. I like to marry the two and kind of see what comes out, which makes me a little different than your average actor or your average advocate, you know.
So you have a desire to try to balance the playing field with able-bodied people and people with different mobility issues.
Definitely.
That's awesome. That's kind of what we strive to do too.
Yeah, we try to give people a voice and kind of let people know out there also what the possibilities are, right? Because they're so quick to shoot us down, and most of the time they can't see the potential in us.
That's a huge thing, is people take a look at any of us and they assume that we don't have abilities or that we don't have qualifications. And so that's one of the reasons that I keep pushing forward, because we all have abilities, we all have attributes, and I want to make that very clear on a national level.
Awesome. So where are you currently working?
Right now, I'm working in a law firm and transportation company that does paratransit for people with disabilities, and then they also do legal work for a lot of different federal organizations and different things. But we are also working on a startup, which I can't really talk about until we get money for, but they brought me on as an ADA special advisor and working with them and giving them a disability aspect on overall policies and procedures. So it's really great to work in the corporate world now, because a lot of the time I worked in a nonprofit world, and I love nonprofits. They're amazing, but I really think that people with disabilities should be everywhere, like doctors, lawyers, corporate, wherever, and not just, working for other people with disabilities. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Owners, we should own our own stuff too.
Exactly. Be our own corporations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what led you to actually, you mentioned you worked in Orange County as
Yeah.
what?
Well, I worked as a disability rights advocate for all of Orange County, and I developed a youth program for youth with disabilities on trying to help them become more independent.
Oh, good.
Because, if when you're in school, people are telling you what you need to be doing, how you need to be living. And I said to my students, you don't have to listen to them. You're 18 years old. You can make your own choices. A little bit about my, growing up. I grew up in foster care. So I had to move out at 17. So that was, I had no I had support, but it wasn't the support that I wanted. It was
Right.
kind of the support that said, you have to go this way. And there's no
Just enough
other
to keep you alive, right?
Yeah, barely survive and scrape by. And
Yeah.
I fought away from that system so much because I was like, I want to do more than just survive. I want to thrive. I want to make a difference. And everybody that I talk to about being an actor, an advocate, they're like, "Oh, those are pipe dreams. Those are, those are dreams that only a few people have, and we don't think you're going to be able to do those things." And I said, "Well, just wait and see."
Yeah, they're quick to put barriers on you, right?
Yeah.
It's easier for them to say, no, it might not happen, or
Or
yeah,
it won't
it
happen.
would be nice. How many times have we heard that, right? Oh, yeah, it'd be
Exactly.
great, but that's what you're here for, to
Yeah.
prove them wrong and be
Exactly.
a role model in different ways to a lot of people.
Exactly. So
Yeah, and sometimes it's fun to use that low opinion people have of you because of your disability, and surprise them.
Oh, I'm definitely a surprise. People assume a couple of things about me because of my stature and who I am. They assume that I'm weak or naive and then not smart enough to handle things. And then I roll into a room and surprise a bunch of people with what I know and where I've been. Because you take one look at me, you think, well, he doesn't know what it's like to have a hard life, or he doesn't know what it's like to go through what I went through. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought when I met you.
Yeah, right? Because people look at me and they think, oh, he's fancy. But where I
Yeah.
came from, it wasn't fancy at all. So,
Yeah, it really breaks down the mental barriers of people once you open up to them in a, educational way or respectful way.
exactly.
Yeah, and it's so much more impactful when you realize, that you're here and from where you came from.
Exactly.
That's just so impactful.
Yeah, we always see you at the Abilities Expos, and you're there all the time and have a lot of great friends. And I know you have a couple close friends from the media.
Oh, yeah. My best friend's Angela Rockwood. Actually,
Okay.
we've been friends for a really long time, and she's such an inspiration to me because, I'm actually gonna be getting a job in Washington D.C. working for the feds in the Department of Labor.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Oh,
writing
nice.
policy for them, and
Did you just break this on Push Ram?
I did. You guys are the first to hear.
All right.
That's
you
some
get-
great news.
You guys are hearing it before
Wow.
Facebook and Twitter, so that's exciting.
Good
Awesome.
deal.
Yeah.
Thank you for this. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A
Thank
long
you.
road, and I'm sure it's well deserved, and it's probably a big challenge for you.
It's gonna be a challenge because I'm gonna be like the small fish in a big pond, and it's gonna really open my eyes to like, you thought you were bad, just wait and see. But I think I can show Washington D.C. a thing or two. So.
We might have to label you the little piranha or something, right?
I like
As a
that.
little
I
nickname,
can,
yeah.
Little piranha. They have no
Yeah.
idea what's coming. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
well, let's
great.
take a little break and then let's get back and find out what's going on in Washington, D.C.
This episode has been brought to you by our good friends at Precision Rehabilitation, neural rehab at its finest. For more information, visit them at precisionrehabilitation.com.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, and Andy. And first thing I want to ask you, well, before we get into your new position in D.C., I wanted to ask, what did you study in college, and and what did you do to help prepare you for such a nice jump?
Oh, well, that's also interesting. When you move out on your own and you're a person with a disability, there's a lot of barriers put on you as far as education. And, because I was in the foster care system and I then became independent, I went to college, but college was a real struggle for me financially, and it was also there were a lot of barriers put up because I had to work. I had to get a job. So, the time I was in college, I was also working. So college was like a uphill thing that I had to master. And honestly, going forward into this position, it's interesting because everybody has master's degrees, and I don't have that. They picked me solely for what's in my heart and what's in my brain, and they said, we need you. And education's really important. I'm not going to down education at all, but everything I've learned in my head and in my heart has really been on the job skills, and just paying attention and listening and really getting engrossed in our community, and in paying attention to what people need. So
Yeah, and I think sometimes our disabilities gives us an advantage because we have to spend all of our days figuring out how to do something that people find easy. Or, people always say, how do you get around downtown like this? I never knew this little cubby hole existed. And I'm like, well, you got to know where all the elevators are. So you have to be able to think,
on your feet, so to speak.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's funny.
And do you feel that really helped prepare you?
I think, having a disability and having to adapt to everything as a child and adapt every day. I'm adaptable in different situations, whether it be corporate, nonprofit, governmental, federal. I can adapt. I'm sort of a chameleon, and I work and try to learn about that community as much as I can. I don't overestimate myself, but I definitely don't underestimate my ability. And I definitely try to push my boundaries when it comes to knowledge and learning.
That speaks volumes, and that's kind of why you're in the position you are in now to talk about your exciting new position and what does that entail? Could you share a little bit about how that came about?
Yeah, I do a lot of training and I do a lot of public speaking, actually, as part of my acting and advocacy. And I was actually working in Washington, D.C., doing trainings on a new initiative for Social Security called Career Access. So it's basically wanting to have an initiative that'll let you maintain your benefits and your medical benefits while you're working.
Oh my God,
So
that's so needed.
Right? So I'm doing a little plug there for them, and we're working with legislators and different people nationwide to get that passed. But while I was doing that in Washington, D.C., I guess I was being scouted out by the Department of Labor and a division called ODEP, so that's Office of Disability Employment Policy. And I had no idea. They were like scoping me out, and they were like, we really like what you do, and we really like how you speak and how you carry yourself. And I know Richard knows this, but some people on the radio might not know this, or your viewers. But I'm also part of the LGBTQIA community,
Okay.
so they really like that whole package of diversity. So they were like, "We need you," and I was like, "No way! I don't want to leave LA," because I have lots of friends here, and
Yeah, and Andy is super diverse.
yeah.
Well, you'll continue to have friends and make new ones, I bet, when you move over there. And one day you might come back to LA.
I know, making important friends, actually.
Yeah, no, I definitely plan to come back to LA. My goal is to run for city council and government to actually have the policy that we're doing. I want to be the one to implement it.
That's great. I applaud you for that because there is a big problem with disabled people going back to work. We're always held down. It's hard to break off the system. You try to make $1, they take away $1 in different situations as far as SSI goes. And to be able to break completely free, then it affects other benefits, right?
Right,
like
exactly.
Medicaid benefits and or in-home support services, and it's like a trickle-down effect. So in order for you to completely break off, you have to be making almost 3 to 4 times the amount to really justify that.
Yeah, and the whole policy that I'm working on is really taking away people from the poverty mindset that they have when they're on Social Security. Because I don't care who you are. If you have a disability and you've been on Social Security, that poverty mindset sticks with you. It's like a seed in your brain that you always go back to. And for me, I want the people of the next generation of people with disabilities to have choices and to be able to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
And to not have to fear not having their benefits.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
a lot of people, I mean, 70% of people that I meet that just get hurt and want to return to work, that's one of the biggest obstacles for them is like, oh, I do want to work, I can work, but if I do, I lose all these benefits.
Yeah.
So that's a big problem there. That
Yeah. And it's
people-
not like, oh, I'll lose my benefits and just get them back.
No,
Yeah. It's just,
it's not that easy.
Yeah.
No.
It's just not that easy. And without our benefits, it's life threatening. So.
exactly.
So that's really scary to think that, I want to venture off on my own, but
Right.
I don't have a safety net to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
share-
so make that happen, Andy.
I
Yes.
will,
please
and that's
do.
why I'm sharing it now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So Andy, tell us like what any kind of insight you had on what kind of work or the
That I'll
things
be
you'll be
doing?
doing, or part-time, full-time, or
Well,
anything of that sort?
you know what? Here's the thing. I don't know until I get there.
Okay.
I know the description is helping write policy on employment for people with disabilities, and I know I'll be working in a group of people, of very smart people. So I'm just going to be adding my brain power to their brain power,
Okay.
and hopefully having lots of meetings with high-level congressional members and policymakers to really make substantial changes to our
Okay.
nation. And it's a huge honor. I'm shocked, really. I'm still shocked when I talk about it. It's such a blessing because I never thought a kid from foster care that grew up in poverty would have this opportunity. And wow.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
It's
it's
mind blowing.
Yeah.
and that's inspirational across the lines, right? Even for able-bodied people. I mean, when they see you hear your story, hopefully that could kind of inspire
Yeah.
them to get off the couch and put the Cheetos
Yeah.
down
And
go
do something, right?
Yeah.
I always say it's not where you came from, but where you're going. And then it's not the things that happen to you in life, but how you handle the things that happen
yeah.
to you in life that make you who you are.
And
Preach,
just like
preacher.
you mentioned, being flexible, right? I mean, you have to adapt to your environment. And I tell people, the more social you are,
Yeah.
and the more you're out into volunteering, working part-time, just being out meeting people, opportunity shows up.
Exactly. I always tell anybody I work with, volunteer where you want to be. Like if you want to work somewhere, volunteer there. Show them that you're a badass, and then they might give you a job.
Absolutely.
And you never know.
That happens so many times.
Yeah, exactly.
Take that part-time job.
Exactly.
Outperform everyone else, and all of a sudden you're getting hired full-time. Next
Right.
thing you know, moving up management
There
positions.
you go. Working for the federal government.
Hey. Hey now.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool stuff.
I'm excited. I'm very excited, and I want to be able to do this and also do grassroots stuff and my acting and my comedy. I'm gonna be an hour and a half away from New York, so it's
Oh, yeah. There you go.
bust in that community too.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Here
Yeah.
comes Andy.
Yeah.
Watch out, East Coast.
Yes, sir.
Boom.
Yeah. And then next we got to get our girl Angelo in here.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah. She's an inspiration.
Yeah,
For sure.
I couldn't do half the stuff that I do without having that woman in my life because just her words and her positivity and her
Yeah.
light, like it really radiates to
Yeah.
everyone that she's around,
It's
especially
very
me.
infectious.
Yeah, I can't help but being positive around her. She's amazing.
And she smiles all the way around, right? Every time she has the awesomest smile.
I know. And see, the thing is, people don't know this about her, and I'm going to tell a little secret. She can get mad at me later. But, a lot of people in wheelchairs are in constant pain, chronic pain, especially if you have spinal cord injuries.
Yeah.
And she's in pain the majority of her time in the chair. You would never know it by being around her. And I look at that, I feel that energy, and I'm like, if she could be positive through all that,
To that pain.
I can't. There's nothing I can be negative about, really. So
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
brings
Absolutely.
perspective, right?
exactly, huge perspective.
Cool. So,
Yeah.
Andy, how
Yes.
can we get a hold of you?
Well, you can Google me. If you Google me, you'll find me on Facebook, Andy Arias on Facebook, actor Andy Arias actually on Facebook. And then on Twitter, it's what is my Twitter? Andy's Wheels with a Z with the wheels, and then also Instagram, Andy's Wheels. And my website is www.andyarias.org.
There you
Okay.
go. Any questions you guys have for Andy, feel free to reach out to him, see what he's all about. And I really want you to keep in touch with our Push Room community and us as well as you grow and your great endeavors up there in DC and making
Awesome.
all these cool changes. And anything we could help post up to our community, feel free to send us links, and we'll be more than happy to do that because we have members throughout the country as well. So
I'm definitely going to send you stuff on that Social Security initiative, and then anything I'm doing in DC, I'm definitely going to keep you guys in the loop. So
All right,
Beautiful.
appreciate it.
well, thank you guys for hanging into our humble podcast here, and be sure to like us on Facebook and join our .com site at pushrim.com, and check us out on our Pushrim Foundation website at pushrim.org, and just see all the cool stuff we're doing to reach out to our community. And Andy, thanks again for being
thank
with
you
us.
guys. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Until next time. Thanks.
All right.
See you
Have a
later.
good one, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
We want to thank Maker City LA for allowing us the opportunity to create these podcasts. For more information, visit them at makercityla.com.